To fully ensure that the ridge hip junction is weathertight, we can fit a Coraflex saddle over the hip and ridge rolls. A good tip to mark out the saddle is to draw around the top of a builder's bucket. Before removing the backing paper, roughly form the saddle to the shape of the junction. We can then remove the backing paper and rest the saddle closely into the junction. Then any water getting through the joints will be safely shed out onto the tiles. At the hip ridge junction, we need to cut the hip tiles to meet as neatly as possible with the end ridge tile. Firstly, we mark from the bottom of the junction, keeping our line as vertical as possible. Then we draw another line here where the hip ridge meets the end ridge tile. Then we do the same with the other side, like so. Once cut, we need to drill each intersecting hip and ridge tile so we can secure them with screws and sealing washers. We are now ready to fit the cut hip and ridge tiles and secure them into place. And there we have the hip ridge junction. With the hip and ridge rolls underneath and the Coraflex saddle, the junction is perfectly waterproof. But it is not always easy to get a really neat intersection like this. So one option is to fill the gaps with a sealant. There you can see the sealant gives a neater appearance to the cut ends of the hip and ridge tiles.